What's up, guys? It's TRT77, and I have got my week 3 and week 4 games together in this video. I know it's been a while since I've recorded. It's been a while since I haven't played these games, so I'm being honest, like, I joined these games a long time because of IRL stuff. But the first thing I'm gonna do is go into my week 3 game with Nashoba. Now, my week 3 game, as you can see, I'm on my prep doc here and I don't have a paste here, is because there's certain things that weren't revealed in game that I do not want to potentially reveal in the event of a playoffs rematch. Also, in general, I think that there's a couple of things I did want to change, so I'm just gonna go over the matchup this way for the Nashoba game. I will timestamp my week 3 game against Nashoba and my week 4 builder versus Shade and week 4 game versus Shade in the description, so if you guys want to jump to wherever you want to go, absolutely fine by me. So as you can see with this matchup, he does have a little bit of a strange team, but it's pretty much a balanced team with Lele, and the big issue is that it kind of does fish me quite well. Like, I have not got a great way of particularly dealing with, especially Vikavolt, which is hilarious to say, but like, Vikavolt causes my team a lot of problems. Mega Slowbro is an annoying matchup for my team, and in general, I do feel like this is a little bit of an annoying matchup because I just know the way he plays is a little bit slower as well, and I'm not sure exactly, at least in terms of my approach to this game, I feel like I really have to try to keep the pace and the momentum. So my 6 that I'm bringing are Cinderace, Kartana, Uxie, Mega Altaria, Corviknight, and Pangoro. Now, at the outset with the builder, I am a little bit hesitant leaving behind Thundurus here and Manaphy, but going full physical team, I feel like lets me take advantage of it if he brings Blissey. And the fact that even though we're going full physical on this team, like, I don't think there's an issue with breaking Mega Slowbro, because Pangoro and Kartana and pretty much most of my mons are able to deal with Mega Slowbro. I feel like the big issue is going to be not losing to an Iron Defense Lele, because that can be an issue if he starts setting up on Uxie, which I feel like getting rocks up is also important, which is why I have Uxie here. Corviknight's a pretty standardish set, it's just almost the same set, except this time it's Spadef. Almost the same set as the game against Jesse, to be honest. It's just Spadef to handle Tapu Lele. Like, so that there's like essentially no variation of Lele that should beat it. It should always eat a hit from Heatran, unless Heatran is offensive. Pangoro is just generally another just E-belt set with sub. Mega Altaria is your standard issue D-Dance set. It's a little bit of a weird set. Uxie is physical. It has Drain Punch, Knockoff, Stealth Rocks, and Kartana is your standard issue Choice Scarf set. There were a few little nifty tricks that I had with a few of these sets that didn't get revealed in game, so I just did not want to go into pulling up a paste here. But for now, I will jump straight into the game, guys. And sorry, that is the wrong week. Now jumping into the game, I'm just gonna make this a full screen. Yes. So jumping into the game against Nashoba, as you can see, he did not bring the Blissey, which means we do actually have to play 6v6. He did bring the Slowbro, Heatran, Noivern, basically what we expected. I do feel like it's a little issue with seeing that Vikavolt there, because I was kind of hoping he wouldn't bring it, but that was like a far-fetched scenario. I'm gonna lead with Uxie here because mainly I just want to get my rocks up and go from there. I do feel like that is the most essential play, and I'm gonna make this dark theme because god, that's so bright. God, yeah. So Uxie, and I'm gonna click knockoff first because I think he's gonna sub, and he does. So we do manage to get it off. He does have and does reveal his item here is Twisted Spoon, which I'm not sure what exactly his set was, because he then reveals Thunderbolt, predicting me to go into the Covenant. Here I'm going to click the Brave Bird, which is a play which he thought was surprising, but I think for me here it made sense because, one, even if Heatran came in, I still have full Mega Altari on the back. He doesn't have Rocks up. I still have Yuxi in the back. And the upside to killing Lele and to getting chip on Noivern. Also, this is a very, very, very bulky Noivern. This is an extremely bulky Noivern. Was huge. So here I can just roost off because as long as he's not Specs, and he's not even close to Specs, I don't think he's invested. I just get HP back on Corviknight. Here again, I just take the notion to just get some momentum, and I U-turn back into Yuxi just to get my rocks up. As he does get the U-turn off, he goes into Mamoswine, and we do get the rocks up. He gets his own rocks back up, but like we do manage to get the Drain Punch, and he reveals that he's Choppleberry, which I guess was a good bring for Cart. And here I just Toxic the Mamoswine because I don't think Drain Punch was a safe play there, because if he went Lele, he just got a free sub. Here I'm going to go into Cinderace. Pyro Ball is pretty free on the most part, but I did click the high jump kick, predicting him to go into Heatran, because I just thought at this point, genuinely, Heatran can be one of two things. One, it's going to come in on Pyro Ball, or two, it's going to be a Scarf or Specs set, which I don't think Specs makes sense against my team, frankly, with the speed tiers involved. So I'm just assuming the way he's holding Heatran back, it is Scarf. He does get off the Super Fang, and here I go into Kartana. This is a bit of an annoying play because I have to click Knockoff because, again, Vikavolt is annoying as hell for my team. The reason Vikavolt is annoying as hell is, quite simply, without Thundurus, I don't switch in well to Bug Buzz or T-Bolt, and it is incredibly annoying that this Mon can just be max HP, max Bold, and still do a shit ton of damage, because it's just hard to kill. And honestly, this was kind of like where I started thinking maybe I went wrong with the 6 physical, because I just thought, okay, yes, I could handle Slowbro, but could I handle Vikavolt? We did get rid of the rocks here, I mean the boots here, which means he'll be taking Rocks chip, but he does get a solid amount of chip on alt here, and this is a play I honestly think I could have back. If I could go back, I would probably switch this up to maybe giving him Pangoro here, because I think alt was way too important to give up HP on, because it just gives him Lele. And here I have to sack alt because, again, I just do not have a move. And I go into Cinderace and he lets me pick off Lele, so we're not getting 6-0'd, but we're not in a very good position in this game right now. He goes back into Noivern, and here's where I really think I misplayed it hard. I should not have gone into Corviknight here. I feel like Corviknight here just lost me momentum. I didn't do enough damage to Noivern. Like, I don't know why I didn't go straight into Pangoro here instead of going into Corviknight. Because at this point, I can't even stay in and click Brave Bird freely anymore, because Heatran can just come in on me for free, and I don't have an alt, I don't have a Yuxi anymore. So I definitely messed that play up quite poorly. Here I'm just gonna go for the knockoff as he goes into Mamoswine, and we do a fair chunk. He is quite bulky, although it's more due to the fact that we lost our item. I mean, he lost his item with the Choppleberry being procced. But here, unfortunately, we're gonna have to give up Corviknight, and it's not looking good for us at this moment in time. So I go into Pangoro because my only real win here is if I start getting if I get behind a sub and start doing some damage. Now, Fist pointed out that this is a play where I could have clicked Knocked Off and it would have probably got me somewhere, but in my mind I just thought, okay, what is the best case scenario? Even if I knock off, he goes Heatran, and what is my Heatran switching? And if he kills Pangoro, then what is my way of killing Noivern? Noivern is not in range of Kartana, it's not in range of Cinderace. Realistically, I feel like this sub was my only play. Here I do go for the Lariat. He does live, which is unfortunate, and he doesn't Mega. And I have to double, and so that's another play I had to explain. I had to double, so as soon as he clicked Trick Room, right here, I just knew that I am fighting for differential here. This is a scenario where the game is lost. I don't think there's a way back in it for me unless he immorally chokes. So the only choke I can go for here is wasting Trick Room turns, because regardless, Vikavolt is gonna murder all 3 of my mons under Trick Room. So I double sub here, hoping Slowbro tries to hit me to break sub. It does not. I go into Cinderace on the Bug Buzz here because I think at this point my best way of saving differential is getting Cinderace in Blaze range. And I needed to also just somehow save off a turn of Trick Room. He does get the Spit F drop, doesn't really matter. I'm going to sack Pangoro here, and I have to sack Kartana because I don't have another play. So we're down to just Cinderace at this point. I am in Blaze, which is good, and it does leave me able to click Pyro Ball, and through these last few turns I'm just gonna let it play out. Basically it's I'm just going for Pyro Ball burns, and eventually we're gonna miss a Pyro Ball, and then he's gonna roost up and Noivern's gonna be able to take care of Cinderace. Overall, I feel like I didn't build for this game well. I feel like my build was way too offensive. I disregarded too many offensive threats, and I feel like there's a whole other team I want to bring, essentially, if we have this rematch in playoffs. There was a couple of things from this team that I did not want to reveal, which I was glad I didn't get to reveal. But I feel like it was especially considering how I was in IRL, like honestly building for this with little to no time, I feel like it was okay for now. Like I can give myself a bit of a pass on that, but at the same time it is kind of disappointing to lose a game 4-0, especially when I was on top of the table. So this game brought us down to 2-1 plus 4, pretty heavy differential hit. I did think that I definitely think that there's definitely ways that this matchup was not unwinnable, and I feel like Nashoba just outplayed me, out-prepped me, and outplayed me. And I think, especially with the turn where I went into Corviknight and Noivern, I think that was just the end of the game, essentially. Even though I was already losing at that point, I think that just sealed it. I think overall what I could do better is change the build. I don't think this build was this 6 or this build was the way to go about it in this game. So now hopping into my next game, this one. Now jumping back into that, guys, sorry for the weird cut, but I figured I had to put in Shade's team here so that y'all could see what I've built for. So as you can see with Shade's team, he does have the Mega Aerodactyl, the Regieleki as his speed control. Now I'm not big on Regieleki, I know there's some people who are. I'm really not big on Regieleki, and I feel like a lot of his team is completely devoted to Regieleki having to break down bulky waters, which again Decidueye as well is a good one, but I just don't think it's super great into my team, considering it does basically nothing to Corv and Altaria. Even with like a special set, even there are sets that could be annoying, but I just feel like he has better mons he could bring in those slots. He does have Skarmory, which is extremely annoying because Skarmory is like, I think, one of the only mons that actually genuinely checks Kartana in this format. Still not stopping me from bringing Kartana, but it's just the only one that really genuinely checks it, and it does check a few of my other mons quite well as well. Overall, his team does have a demonstrable electric weakness, but I decided against bringing Thundi here primarily because I feel like the bigger weakness on his team is he's just absolutely fodder for Mega Altaria and Manaphy. And I feel like Mega Alt and Manaphy just have an absolute field day in this matchup, and I feel like I need Corv, because I'm bringing these two extremely offensive. I need Corv to give me that little bit of insurance against Mega Aerodactyl. Now, Urshifu is also a problem, but I've seen throughout his games that he seems to tend to favor the Scarf set. So I made it in such a way that, yes, I cannot lose to Bandit, and I don't think Scarf is legitimately that much of a threat. I feel like Scarf always lets in Altaria, especially considering the stabs not doing that much damage with the Scarf versus a Bandit set. I'm expecting to see Sylveon, but I'm not too worried about it again because we have a Cinderace, which really doesn't care about Sylveon all that much. It kind of gives us free momentum. And outside of that, I do not expect to see Slowking whatsoever in this matchup. I think Slowking is terrible into my team. I'm expecting to see Mudsdale because I don't think he wants to necessarily let me volt switch for free. I feel like even though Mudsdale's not living to grass knots even with max def, I don't think you can let Thunderous volt switch for free against this team. I don't expect to see Makalola, even though it can do certain things. I just think it loses momentum in this matchup. So I think this is a pretty rough matchup for him, and I'm just going to go into my build. I do have Rocky Helmet Kov, almost essentially the same set. Kov Knight looks the same every week, I'm going to be honest with you. It just performs a vast multitude of roles. I don't really need to explain it too much. I have the Ironhead on there because Ironhead into Helmet Chip will always put pretty much most, unless it's like 248 HP Aerodactyl, like it puts most Mega Arrows in range of Cinderace's Sucker Punch. We have a Resto Chesto Manaphy once again, except this time it's double dance with Acid Armor because honestly, if he doesn't bring Decid, I can just call game with Manaphy pretty early. It just depends on how many free turns he's going to give me and where I can set up. And if we get Scald Burns, of course. Next up, we have Diggersby with the Expert Belt. I had Wild Charge on here initially, but Targo suggested I switch it to T-Punch, and I think that's a good suggestion because I think Diggersby is the only thing keeping me from losing hard to Regieleki because my team's not the best into Regieleki, which is kind of hilarious to say, but I just don't think it's the best into Regieleki. We have Kartana with a bunch of Spidef because Kartana's Spidef stat is so low that 96 Spidef changes roles considerably. Like, it actually changes roles like by a lot. We have an SD Kartana with Choppleberry. I could trade it for either Urshifu or Skarmory. I believe Kart and Diggersby are here. I'm just going to use in a trading off role because there's no real way for his team to deal with both of them. It's just trying to sack him on and then revenge, and I feel like every time it's just winning the exchange and going into alt to clean. Alt is an absolute monster this matchup. Like, Regieleki can't touch it. Urshifu, Loxin can't touch it. Skarmory can't really do much to it even with Ironhead. I am worried about Mega Arrow's Ironhead, but we live. We're decently bulky enough to live and kill it. Sylveon, even a bold Sylveon, really does not want a +1 double edge to the face. So the only real thing I've got there is I want to use Diggersby and Kart to like trade off Skarm and Mudsdale and then get Alton. Cinderace is my hazards this week. I know this sounds hilarious to say, but I do need hazards in this team, and I'm swearing, like, I pray to God that he brings Stealth Rocks so I can code change them, because I really can't fit Uxian this week. That's a kind of a drawback of my team, like, not having any other rockers really. Like, Kecleon's my other rocker and it's not got a great matchup. So Cinderace is here for hazards. Pyro Ball's pretty free overall. Like, I mean, with the 10% burn chance, it can be kind of nice. I'm not too worried about, you know, if I have to sack it, I sack it. But I think it overall keeps momentum quite well. But that's basically it for the builder, guys. I will jump right back into the game. Now jumping into the game, guys, I am pretty shocked right now to see no Mudsdale. Kind of makes me leaving Thunderous behind a little bit of a joke, because I feel like it would have been just so easy to pivot around with Thunderous in this game. Like, he would have had to just give me a Pokemon every time I click Volt Switch. But it is what it is. We make those decisions and we live with them. We do see the Slowking, which means I'm assuming it's going to be bold and physical. It's probably just here as a physical check to Diggersby, which again I don't see the reason for, because he does have a Skarmory. But to each their own. My lead is pretty straightforward. I'm going to lead Manaphy here because I think overall it doesn't have a negative lead matchup. I can Scald 5 out of the 6 Mons, or I can set up on Slowking, I can set up on Sylveon. If he has Regieleki up front and he wants to trade off a Regieleki, fine by me. Or if he wants to, I don't know what Regieleki really does to Diggersby. It can click Explosion, which is this one way of killing Diggersby. It can click maybe Hyper Beam. I don't know. Hyper Beam doesn't even kill Diggersby because it's a very bulky Diggersby. So I'm just gonna lead with the Manaphy. And surely enough, he does read Regieleki. I'm gonna go hard into Diggersby. He does click the Swift. Doesn't do a whole lot. Here I'm just gonna get the knockoff, the free knockoff on something. We do crit, which I think is kind of cool to get that crit, but I don't think it really matters. as you'll see. I go hard into Cinderace here because yes, I can take the body press, but like I'm not too concerned about Sylveon right now. And if he wants to raw body press Diggersby, by all means, risking dying to Wild Charge, by all means. Like, I don't think that's a great play on his part. So he goes for the spikes, and then he has to go into Slowking to avoid getting Pyroed, and we get to code change the spikes. Cinderace, the best hazard setter in the game. That's sarcasm, just in case anyone wonders and they're gonna flame me. So we do get off the SD. Here I am going to... He does Future Sight with the Slowking, but I'm not too worried. Because of our Spadef, we should live. And here we can take out Skarmory. So we've traded off. We've already gone through exactly what we wanted to build. Shout out to Clay. Clay actually just called that exact sequence when we were building. And he goes into Aero. I don't care here. I'm just going to sack the card because I just get a free entry point into Manaphy. Here I should have probably just clicked Calm Mind to begin with, but I did click the Scald initially. No burns. We go for the Calm Mind here. He goes for another Future Sight. I'm getting a second Calm Mind up. I know he's going to teleport, but I don't care. As he goes into Lucky. If he stays in here, he dies. So he has to Volt Switch is my assumption. And I get another Scald off for free. We do a chunk to Sylveon, but again, no burn, which is annoying. I'm gonna just rest off here because I don't want to risk anything, even though, like, frankly, maybe I could have Acid Armored there. He goes into Urshifu, gets the Thunder Punch off. I go for the Scald here, but again, we get no burn. So, that Manaphy set could have been something, but, like, unfortunately, burn luck was just not with us there. I went into Diggersby here because... based on the damage of the Thunder Punch and Manaphy, I could clearly see he is Scarf. Like, he's not a banded set. Yes, he could be not locked in, but I don't see a reason for him clicking another move because he would have to kill Manaphy in that instance. He would have to kill Manaphy, and only Thunder Punch killed Manaphy in that range. So I don't think it made a huge difference. He could have clicked CC, but I do believe the way he played it, I didn't see a reason for him not to be Choice Scarf. Like, it seemed like Adamant Scarf damage. So I got into Diggersby on Thunder Punch, and he goes into Sylveon as we get the crit kill on Thunder Punch. I do not think that crit mattered because I think it was like a roll anyway to kill from 43, and he basically would have had to sack a Pokemon anyway. So I think Sylveon was getting sacked. Maybe it cost him 1 PP, that's it. He goes back into Urshifu here, and I'm just gonna go hard into Cove. If he wants to click CC, he can. He clicks U-turn, which is amazing, because with Helmet Chip now, he has to get rid of the Spike to keep Urshifu alive. He goes into Lucky, as expected. I go straight back into Diggersby, as he does spin away the rocks. Sorry, the spikes. He goes into Slowking here, but we call the read. Honestly, I don't even feel like calling this a read, because... there's no way a Lucky stays in because he loses, and essentially water type, flying type. Thunder Punch is the clearest play. As Diggersby is gonna pick off another kill with Slowking. He goes back into Urshifu here. Here I just sack the Manaphy just in case he wants to try to click the Surging Strikes or anything like that. I just don't need to risk HP on Corviknight with Mega Arrow at full. But here, I'm just gonna go on alt. I know he's locked in because he switched out last time. And I get off the D-Dance. Here, I do think I shouldn't have D-Danced. I think just clicking Double Edge would have been the play. I don't think the D-Dancing here was necessary. It could have just saved me some differential to just Double Edge straight away. But here, I'm gonna switch because Iron Head from Mega Arrow Adamant does 72 to 85 on Mega Alt, and I'll be honest with you, after getting no bonds, I just did not want to risk the flinch. I really thought if I get flinched there, I'm gonna cry and I'm gonna lose. So I went into Cove. He clicks the Stone Edge, and I'm surprised that he doesn't have Iron Head. But here he does go for the Hone Claws. I get off the Iron Head chip. He goes for the Fire Fang. This was a 56.3% to kill roll. We went over that after the game. It's a little bit unfortunate, but I think it's close enough to be called a 50-50. But I don't think it mattered long term because he's well and truly with Helmet. He's well and truly in Iron Head range. Sorry, in Sucker Punch range. Here, Regieleki is gonna pick off Cove, and I just have the freest this is the freest click of Diggersby in my life. I just go in, I click Earthquake, I claim a kill. And he does click the Swift again, and Diggersby's gonna take out Regieleki. And he goes into Urshifu. I'm just gonna let him kill me because I know he has to lock into something. He's been playing it like it's Scarf. I just go into Alt. He does click the CC again. And Alt is gonna pick off Urshifu with a double edge. So we do pick up a 2-0 win in our fourth game of the EDC Season 9. This leads us to a 3-1 plus 6 record at the moment. Shout out to Clay and Targo for help on this build. I think this is as to plan a game can go, if I could say that, because like especially the whole Sakamari sequence, I think in terms of that it went really well. I do think I could have played the end game better. I think I'm still a little bit rusty coming back after a little bit of a break. I could have played the end game better, definitely. Like hindsight's 2020, I shouldn't have clicked Dragon Dance. Just clicking double edge there would have been fine. Because once you click double edge there, it's just you call game, because he has to hit Corviknight and then it's just a matter of finishing up the game. But GG's to Shade. I also did make a transaction, guys. I dropped Executor for Servine. Honestly, it's for 1 pointer for a 1 pointer. I just feel like Executor is literally unbringable to some of these games in terms of matchup, and I just don't like the overlapping weakness with Yuxi. And I feel like Servine just has certain matchups where it can be more annoying, and adding that element of glare could be fun. Like, it's not like it's going to come to every single game or anything as such, but having Contrary and having an extra defog, or it's just a useful mon to have at that 1 point tier. But that's going to be it from me, guys. Hopefully I'll get my week 5 game out on time and done on time, but no promises once again. This is TRT77 and this is me signing off.